You know, I had an idea to talk about Digital Circus a long time ago, and now with some of the new episodes, I think I can finally talk about an idea I had. The idea that I had is that everything established in the show is determining different types of coping mechanisms, and the concept of using masks as coping mechanisms as well, both literal and figuratively, often is not what it seems. Of course, there are spoilers here, so if you haven't watched any of the Digital Circus episodes, you should go ahead and watch them. They're free on YouTube, so go check it out. But anyway, let's take a look at episodes 3 to 5 of Digital Circus. Every episode from this point has really focused on each and every character and their own individual problems and traits. Episode 3 is mostly about Kinger, a character that is normally deemed too insane to even maintain a conversation with.
And no point in asking Kinger, because there's no way he remembers anything.
Never better!
His main mechanism is just don't think about it.
Try not thinking about it. How about we try not thinking about it?
Kinger is often so spaced out that he doesn't really know what's going on around him, and it's really something that I really wonder if we need more of. When you end up knowing many more things, you end up becoming more miserable because of it. Because now that you know more things that you never thought of before, they take up real estate in your head. You start to think about it more, so much so that you get fixated upon it.
How's your wife, Kinger? My what? Oh.
Kinger most likely has gotten the most knowledge of the Digital Circus world because he is a character that's been there the longest. That's probably the reason why he acts the way he does.
Gangle, you startled me.
He has seen so much that he cannot control, and the best defense really is just to not think about it. The scene in this episode that really shows you where he's in control is when he's in hell with Pomni. They are surrounded by darkness. There's only a somber moment, and we get to see Kinger where he actually is coherent.
Why have you been acting so different lately?
I have, haven't I? I'm normally not too good with memories, but being surrounded by darkness always brings me back to a certain time.
There is a concept of finding peace within chaos, how everything may feel pointless, but being able to cherish who and what is around you helps to get you by. He tells the story of how he and his wife were somehow at peace within the darkness of his fort, and because of that, they are able to be calm. Nothing is actually happening, so we can take this time to relax. To be able to find peace within the chaos of the world, that is the power that Kinger has.
It's not the most cheerful memory, but it's one I at least have control over. I know how it can feel in this circus. Sometimes it all just feels pointless. But it's not. Not if you have people who care about you. Good memories can do a lot. Hold on to them and cherish the people around you. You never know when they'll be gone.
Digital Circus seems to embody the idea of escapism. Each one of the characters has something they're trying to run away from, and they all have their own masks they put up to cope. Episode 4 and 5 really hammer home this idea, not only with metaphorical masks, but physical masks as well. In episode 4, we get to look a bit into Gangle. She is one that is teetering on the edge, one already too shy to speak up, and she just lets things happen to her.
Aren't you supposed to be submissive and agreeable? Move it!
She gets a new mask in this episode, one that makes her feel somewhat confident and in control.
It feels normal. Like in a good way.
She is given an opportunity to be controlling in an area where she is known to have knowledge. With this, she felt maybe she could also control her emotions. But then we can see time and time again, different times where she just couldn't really control. At this point, her mask would usually break, but she couldn't really drop the facade.
My comedy mask is usually broken by now.
It gets to the point where she may have lost it. She was trying to keep up the positive facade, and she was just miserable. Yet she couldn't break out of her mask because her mask never broke. Only Pomni was able to bring her back to reality when she was at her lowest point because she showed some sort of connection to Gangle, showing that she actually cares of her well-being. She ends up throwing away her mask and the fake control it gave, but she ends up getting still comfort from others, purely for Gangle herself. Other than Gangle in this episode, a lot of masks actually come loose. But not entirely. Jax and his superiority mask, and Ragatha's positivity mask. If you don't understand Ragatha in this episode, you'll probably think that this is her mask off moment.
No offense, but you're kind of annoying when you have your happy mask.
The sauce is her similarly to being drunk. She says and does a lot of things that she normally wouldn't if she wasn't on the sauce, and it reveals a lot of her inner thoughts. There is a saying that a drunk person's words are a sober person's thoughts. Ragatha is seen as a person who has toxic positivity because she always seems to try and be nice and look at the goodness of things.
Well, maybe there'll be blood, death, and violence in the next adventure.
Ha 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 ha, how wholesome.
She approaches others as a pleaser, not wanting to cause trouble, and also not wanting to be hated.
Yo, Jax. I, hate you, but I don't want you to hate me. Is that weird?
However, that approach makes people feel like Ragatha is not genuine, and that she is not real to others. Gangle shows us this.
Oh, Ragatha. I love her, but after a while it gets kinda hard to tell how genuine she's actually being.
Ragatha desperately tries to do what's right, out of fear of never stepping out of line. She gets forced into many different things, as we can hear her ranting about it in her sauced up mode, and also appreciating the love the glowing queen gives to her children, probably some that she never got in her standard life. She doesn't fit in as much, and she is misunderstood, and because of her attempts and agreeableness, others see her actions as fake. And I think we can all kind of agree that episode 5 is the Jax and Ragatha episode. We kind of get to see a lot more of Jax's mask and the facade that he puts up, and the reasons behind it. Jax acts the way he does because he's afraid of getting close to people again. He's afraid of getting harmed by loss. He makes it seem like he doesn't care, and that's definitely the message that other characters receive.
I didn't think you cared about what other people like.
No, yeah, you're right, I don't.
Because that's just what he decided to do for everyone. He doesn't care because he doesn't want to experience loss again. Why put effort into building that relationship when it can easily go awry?
Do you have any actual friends?
Not anymore.
The douchebag persona that Jax puts up is his coping mechanism, the way that he acts as to prevent people from getting close to him. The bar scene actually kind of shows a lot more information than we had previously. This is where we get to see each of the characters' interactions with their history, and how they ended up where they were, how each of the characters fit within their specified coping mechanisms. Characters that have just decided to stop thinking, others that have only ever known conditional love, and the abuse that ends up coming from it. Ones that feel like they do not belong anywhere and have yet to really find themselves, and don't really have anyone to tell their problems to. Ones that feel like they're not really worth anything to others, and so they keep to themselves, but they really want connections and are just too shy to talk. And others that try to put an aura of strength to push through those feelings despite having immense trauma that causes them to no longer care about the actions they take. And all this really ends in the thing that's needed most, the thing that lets us be at peace, which is just having connections, be it through a memory or current relationship. And well, you can see that showing in Digital Circus as each episode comes to an end. I personally felt akin to Ragatha and Kinger. Ragatha because she does kind of share a bit of the similar mentality to me. I just try to be good. I constantly feel like I'm walking on eggshells sometimes, and I always just am worried about how an action would be received. And with Kinger, especially nowadays, you don't really know what information is real and not, and it seems like everyone is always trying to get you. And with a lot of the real and painful information that does exist, sometimes it really is just better to not think about it. I may not have gotten the feelings of the other characters correct though, and I am just kind of looking at what I've seen. I'm sure others who have experienced the same will be able to explain them better than I, but I really just wanted to talk about it. Thank you for watching. Till next time, this has been Tara, and take